Hi there, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 13 of our Supersize You annual challenge. Today we are going to select and pick an area of our life that we want to apply the SOAP framework to. SOAP framework is a PSDM, problem solving and decision making tool. We haven't really talked about it yet, but why does this even matter? Why do I have a specific framework for dealing with challenges, obstacles, setbacks, problems, and things like that? Why do I have that? Why did I create that? Well, in 2020, the pandemic hit, and everybody, including my life, was pretty much blown up in terms of our usual routines, how we did things, how we just went through our day-to-day life. And as part of that, I realized that I needed to keep moving forward in particularly the business and just the living part of my life, even though a lot of our freedoms had been restricted and we really couldn't do or go or even run our own businesses in the way that we had been prior to the shutdowns due to COVID. Now, of course, it would be just a couple of weeks to flatten the curve or whatever nonsense it was. I don't even remember because I was not watching the media back then. I still don't. And I highly recommend, if you want to find a way to absolutely massively improve your life, stop engaging on social media in anything negative, political, religious, any of the things that you have strong emotional attachments to, and think for yourself. Just turn off the TV. Don't watch the news. If the news were good for us and something that we should be doing, then I'd be all for it. But the media and the news, it is 99% negative. It's 99% false and lies or manipulations nowadays. So why would you subject your poor brain to having to filter through all that nonsense, or let it think for you? I'm on a tangent. All right, let's get back to today's topic. So problem solving, decision making. I thought I had a slide for that, or one of my fancy graphics for that, but I didn't see it. So all it is having tools. And then I looked through my graphics and tools, and the majority of the graphics I have are for problem solving, decision making tools. Something as simple as the plus and minus, the pros and cons, the urine analysis, Eisenhower matrix, nominal group technique. Almost all, not almost all, but the biggest percentage of the visuals that I've created over the last, I think I only started creating visuals probably the last 4 years, since 2020. So that's going on 6 years, never mind, long time, are related to this topic, because as human beings, we've gotten terrible about making decisions. And the truth is, being able to make decisions quickly is an incredible way to create the life that you want and to stand out from the rest of the people on the planet, because most of them are bad or don't even bother making decisions. They just live their life by default. That is not us. So what have we done so far, and how do we go about picking the area that we are going to apply over the next 4 days the SOAP framework to? Why are we doing it over 4 days? Because I want to make sure that you get this, you practice it, and you can have this particular process installed in your subconscious. So whenever you need it, whenever you're faced with a problem, you don't have to consciously be aware of, oh, step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Your body and your mind will automatically run you through it, and you'll start off from a higher point of decision than if you didn't have one of these. Now, you might already have your own problem solving, decision making tool, and I will say, awesome, I'm so proud of you, but stack that against, and not against, but in addition to the SOAP framework, and see which one works best for you. I always like to try on new tools and new strategies to see if they work for me. Now, do they work the first time perfectly? No. I don't know anybody that tries something one time and they never have to do it again because they absolutely positively ace it. That is, I don't even know where beliefs like that come from, because everything we're doing causes us to stretch our comfort zone and practice, right? We have to practice it. So how are we going to pick a topic today? We could brainstorm a list of 10 things that need our attention, and then just prioritize those. We could look at how far we've come in under 2 weeks. We've covered a lot of things. In under 2 weeks, we've covered our definition of supersizing yourself. We have to have our own definition because that's what we're building to create. We've talked about what do we want? What do we really, really want? We've talked about our current identity. We've talked about the life framework, 9 areas. Where is that? Our 9 life framework areas. And we've rated them on a scale of 1 to 10. And we've also prioritized them. What's most important? We've covered core values, beliefs, how to get rid of those nasty, negative, limiting beliefs. And yesterday, primary emotions. What are the emotions that we feel the most often? There are so many places that we could get our idea of what we want to soap from just in this 12 days worth of things that we've covered. Maybe you don't like your current identity or something about your current identity, and you want to use the soap framework to deal with that. Maybe you've got a big blaring problem. It's in your face and you've been ignoring it and shoving it down and putting it off for ages. Maybe it's a health challenge. Maybe it's a go to the dentist. Maybe it's organize your closet. It could be anything that would make you feel better, make you feel lighter if you tackled it. And we're going to use the soap framework to do that. It's a simple 4-step process. I've actually used it for the majority of my life. If I think back to the tools and how I operate both in and outside of my professional life, I've always had a 4-step process. I just started calling it soap during the pandemic because we were all washing our hands like a zillion times a day. Now, I'd been in the food business for 30 some years by then. So I've always been wash my hands so much that they're practically raw kind of person, but everybody was doing it. And so soap seemed like a good acronym to help us through the process and the steps of solving a problem or dealing with a challenge or achieving a goal or objective that we want. One thing about the processes I teach, I want them to be used for positive, making our life better, not just for dealing with the problems. But a lot of times, if we just clear one little problem and deal with that, it frees up our time and energy to really focus on the things that we want to. All right, so what are you doing today? We are coming up with one topic. I don't want a list of 10. I want you to go through, figure it out, pick one thing today that we are going to apply the soap framework tomorrow. I would say you might as well pick your biggest challenge or your biggest frustration or your biggest negative emotional impactor or your number one area from a priority standpoint, or the one that you rated the lowest, so that we could just do something right now and improve that and set something in place so you don't have to worry about it for the rest of the year, etc. Any questions about this, just ask me. Otherwise, go out and make it an awesome day, and I will, of course, be with you tomorrow for the S in our soap framework.